Hello students, welcome to physics class. Today we are going to see a new topic, that is principle of homogeneity. In last class we studied about, just we started units and measurements. So in that chapter we studied about physical quantities, right? So physical quantities basically have two terms. First one is n, number of times of unit, then u. I mean n means numerical value, which means number of times of unit. Then u means unit, right? Then we study types of physical quantities. So those are fundamental physical quantities, derived quantities, and supplementary quantities. In fundamental quantities, we studied 7 fundamental SI unit, that is length, mass, time, temperature, electric current, luminous intensity, and amount of substance. Then derived physical quantities are the one which are derived from fundamental quantities. Those are like area, velocity, force, acceleration, momentum. So these are derived physical quantities. Then supplementary physical quantities are basically two. First one is angle, next one is solid angle. Okay. Then we studied about dimensions. In dimensions, we mostly use three dimension, that is MLT. M for mass. Okay. Then L for length and T for time. Okay. Then we study some examples based on dimensions. So principle of homogeneity defines the dimensions of each term of an equation must be same. Okay. So we have one equation and that equation have some dimensions. The dimensions of each term should be equal, or we can say similar physical quantities can be add and subtract. For example, we have 3 second. Okay, for a certain process takes 3 second and another process taking 4 second. So if we add these two, then it will become 7 second, right? It makes some sense. But in some case, for example, we have 3 second and 4 kilogram. Can we add these two? Definitely not. Okay, it doesn't make any sense. So we have to add seconds with second, mass with mass, right? Ampere with ampere. But we cannot add or subtract second with mass. We cannot subtract mass from second. We only subtract mass from another mass. 10 kilogram minus 4 kilogram equal to 6 kilogram. Correct? We cannot say 10 kilogram minus 6 ampere equal to what? That doesn't make any sense, right? So principle of homogeneity means we can add or subtract physical quantities of similar value, okay, similar units. Clear? For example, the first question, find the dimensions of A and B in this equation V equal to A plus BT, where V is velocity and T is time. We have to find the dimension of A and B. So how to find the dimension? By using principle of homogeneity, we made it as a single equation in left hand side or right hand side. Okay, so I take these values in left hand side. It will become V minus A minus BT equal to 0. Okay, so this is one complete equation. Now we have to find the dimension. As I said already, so the dimension of each term of an equation must be same, right? So here the dimension of A must be equal to V, correct? The dimension of A must be equal to V, and the dimension of BT, not only B, the dimension of BT must be equal to V. So this is one term, this is another term. So the term of A which has some dimension which should be equal to V, and the term BT, that dimension should be equal to V, correct? So we can say dimension of A should be equal to dimension of V, correct? So what is V? V is velocity. So what's the dimensional formula for velocity? From the unit you can able to find dimensional formula. The unit of velocity is meter per second. So meter is nothing but a length, SI unit of length. So we can say L, and SI unit of second, I mean time is, second is the SI unit of time. Okay, so T. This T goes upwards. Here we have L T power minus 1. So this is the dimension of V. So we can write A equal to L T power minus 1. Correct? Then what is the dimension of B? So we can write dimension of this whole term, dimension of BT must be equal to dimension of V. Okay. We already know the dimension of T, right? What's the dimension of T? T is time. So we can write B T, correct? Then here we have L T power minus 1. From this equation I take B, this T goes numerator. Okay, so here we have, this T goes denominator. So here we have LT1, in denominator we have T. Okay, and this T comes to numerator. Here we get L T minus 1. If this T comes numerator, then we have T minus 1. Already have power in plus. If it comes numerator, then power will be minus. So base are same. We can simply add the power. If we add the power, then we get L T power minus 2. Okay, so this is the dimension of B and this is the dimension of A. Clear? Next question, find the dimensions of A, B, C, D, E in x equal to AT plus BT plus CT square plus DT cube divided by E plus T. Here x means displacement and T means time. Okay, so here we made it as an equation. Okay, so x minus AT plus BT plus CT square plus DT cube plus E plus T equal to 0. So here the dimension of A will be equal to dimension of x, the dimension of BT equal to x, CT square equal to x, DT cube divided by E plus T equal to x. Correct? So each term of dimension will be equal to dimension of x. Okay, so here we write the dimension of x, or we say dimension of AT will be equal to dimension of x. So what's the dimension of x here? We know for displacement we measure it with meter, right? Meter, centimeter, whatever. So we say it as length. Okay, so displacement has the dimension of length, and dimension of AT, here we have T means time. Time has the dimension of T. Displacement has the dimension of L. Okay, so we can write dimension of A equal to L divided by T. If this denominator goes to numerator, then it becomes T power minus 1. Clear? Then next one, dimension of B. Here also we got the same value, correct? So B capital T equal to, for x we have L. So B equal to L T power minus 1. Okay. Then third one, dimension of CT square. So dimension of CT square will be equal to x. So C T power 2 equal to L, correct? Then C equal to L. This t power 2 goes to right hand side of the equation, and it becomes t power minus 2. So this is the dimension of C. In this equation we have both value D and E supposed to find. Okay, so how to solve this? Dimension of dt cube divided by E plus t equal to x. So here E value we have to find. So we simply take dt cube divided by t equal to x. Okay, so I write it dt cube divided by t equal to x. So for time you put capital T. So t cube divided by t equal to L, correct? Then if this t and 1t get cancelled, it will become dt square equal to L, and d equal to L t power minus 2. Okay, then how to find the value of E? As I said already, the same unit should be get added or subtracted. Okay, so with E, time is added, which means E also have the dimension of time, correct? Then only time get added with time or time get subtracted with time, correct? So here dimension of E should be equal to dimension of T, correct? So what is the dimension of T? We know dimension of T is capital T for time. So this is the dimension of E. Clear? Then third one will be your homework. So this will be your homework. Find the dimension of A by B in P equal to A minus T squared divided by Bx. Here P means pressure. What is the formula for pressure? Pressure equal to force upon area. We already know the dimension of force and we already know the dimension of area. By dividing these two value, we got the dimension of force. Okay, so find the dimension of force and equate it with each term. Then you will get A value separately and then B value separately. Okay, so then divided A by B, you will get the answer. Clear? And one more thing, if time is subtracted with time, then the value will not be equal to 0. Okay, because we should get the average dimensional value. So if t square subtracted with t square, then the answer will be t square, correct? Because it should have some dimension. We cannot be able to put 0 here because t means dimension. It doesn't have any value, any magnitude. We are only speaking about dimension. If we take 2 second minus 2 second, then it will be 0. But here we won't take any numerical value. We are only speaking about dimension. So if t square minus t square, then it will become t square, correct? So by using that, you solve this equation and post it in group. So the next one, applications of dimension analysis. Why we are using this dimension analysis? So first one, checking the correction of an equation. For example, if the equation is correct, then the dimension of that equation, that left hand side of the equation, should be equal to dimension of right hand side of the equation. Okay, so let's we try one example. S equal to ut plus half at square. So we have to check whether the left side of the dimension value equal to right side of the dimension value. Okay, so this is displacement equation. Here S means displacement, U means initial velocity, T means time, and A means acceleration. Okay, so first we check the right hand side equation. For right hand side we have ut. So ut means velocity, I mean initial velocity and time. So what's the unit of initial velocity? If we write the unit, then we can able to write the dimension formula. For velocity, the unit will be meter per second, correct? So for meter, the dimension value is L. For second, we put T. So for U, I can write L by T. And for T, I can write T. Okay. So this t and t get cancelled. Then I left with L. So this value will be equal to L for first term. Then for second term, I have half at square. So leave the half as it is constant. It don't have any dimensional formula. Okay. Then acceleration. What's the unit of acceleration? A equal to meter per second square. Correct. So for this, I have to write the dimensional formula. For meter, I put L. For second square, I put t square. Okay. So this is my dimensional formula for A, acceleration. Then here I have t square. For t, simply I put capital T, time. So this t square and t square get cancelled. So for this term also I have L. So let's check whether the right side of the equation equal to left side or not. So for left side, I have displacement. Displacement means it is measured with meter. So for meter we use the term L. Okay. So this S have the dimensional formula of L. Now see, this term have L. This term also have L. And left side of the equation also have L. So hence proved that the dimensional formula for left hand side equal to dimensional formula for right hand side. So with this I can prove that this equation is correct. If I have any wrong value in right side or left side, if I have any wrong dimensional formula, then I can say that that equation is totally wrong. Clear? So you do one example, very simple. T equal to 2 pi root L by G. T means time, we already know capital T. 2 pi constant, leave it. Here L means length, already know that is L. G means acceleration due to gravity. Okay, so find whether the left hand side of the equation should be equal to right hand side. So here you know already in left hand side we have T, capital T. So our left hand side equation for this second problem will be T. You check whether right hand side also we have T or not. Okay, this is your homework. So next one, conversion of units. So this is second application. To convert a unit from one unit to another unit, convert the value of any dimension value from one unit to another unit. For example, we know any physical quantity have two terms. First one is n, numerical value. Next one is u, unit. Okay, so if I have two value, n1 u1 equal to n2 u2. I know the value of n1 u1, but I don't know the value of n2 u2. For example, my n1 will be 1 and unit is meter. So 1 meter should be equal to, I can write here I have centimeter. Then what will the value of n2? n2 will be 100, correct? So 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter, correct? If we have mm here, millimeter, then 1 meter should be equal to 1000 millimeter. Okay, so by this we can able to find the value of n2, or we can convert any unit into another unit. Okay, so let me see one example. Here we have to convert 1 Newton into dyne. We don't know 1 Newton equal to how much dyne. So we are going to find with using dimensional analysis. Okay, so Newton is the unit of what? As we know, Newton is the unit of force. Okay, so for force, what is the dimensional formula? Force equal to mass into acceleration. For mass, we put simply capital M. For acceleration, we use the unit meter per second square. So for meter, we use capital N, and second square will be in divided. So it goes upwards. It will become t power minus 2. So this is the dimensional formula for force. Okay. So 1 Newton equal to kgm kgm per second square, which means 1 Newton equal to 1 kilogram of mass. So we can say 1 kilogram of mass multiplied with 1 meter per second square velocity, second square acceleration. So F equal to MA, 1 Newton means 1 kilogram multiplied with 1 meter per second square. Then only here you get 1 Newton. Okay, you already know the definition of 1 Newton. 1 kilogram of mass tends to move with 1 meter per second square acceleration. Here one more thing to discuss. Newton is SI unit of force. Okay, SI unit of force is Newton. Where dyne means it is the CGS unit. We use basically three kinds of unit. First one is MKS, that is under the 7 SI units. M means meter, K means kilogram, S means second. Okay, so that is comes under 7 SI unit. Next one is FPS. FPS means foot, pound, second. So in some cases we measure the distance with foot, and some cases we measure the weight with pound. Okay, mass. Then second. Third one is CGS system. CGS system means centimeter, gram, second. Okay, that's just alternative of meter and kilogram. So here dyne means it is the unit of CGS. Okay, so it is CGS unit. It have centimeter, gram and second. Correct? So comes to this point, it have kilogram, meter per second square. So here numerical value N1 will be equal to 1, and we don't know 1 Newton equal to how much dyne, that we have to find. Okay, that we have to find. Then for M1 it is equal to kg, but here M2 is equal to gram. Instead of kilogram, in CGS unit we use gram. Here L1 means length. For length here we use meter in SI unit, but here we use centimeter. Okay, for CGS unit. Then time, so in all the cases time will be same, second. Here also second. Okay, then what will be the dimensional formula? The dimensional formula for U1, first unit, we have M1, L1, T1 power minus 2. Correct? Because we use the term kilogram meter per second square. Okay, so this is the actual unit of Newton. So this will be equal to Newton, 1 Newton. But here we use, instead of kilogram, we use gram. Instead of meter, we use centimeter by second square. Correct? So kilogram we use M, mass. Meter we use length, L. Second, time. So here we have time to the power minus 2. Here also for gram we use mass. Okay, centimeter we use length, and time we use T power minus 2 because it is S square. Clear? So by using this formula, N1 U1 should be equal to N2 U2. So find the value of N2. N2 equal to N1 U1 divided by U2. Then substitute the value N2 equal to, what is the value of N1? N1 is given as 1. So 1 into, what's the value of U1? U1 will be M1 L1 T1 power minus 2 divided by, what is the value of U2? U2 will be M2 L2 T2 power minus 2. Okay, with square bracket. So we know for M1 we take the value of kilogram. Correct? For L1 we take meter, and T1 we take second. So second to the power minus 2. And M2 we use gram, L2 centimeter, T2 second. Here we have power minus 2. So power minus 2. So in order to solve this equation, we common the units first. Here we have kilogram. Here we have gram. Can we able to convert kilogram into gram? Yes. 1 kilogram equal to 1000 gram. Correct. So I can write 1 into, for this 1 kilogram, I can write 1000 gram. So 1000 gram can be write as 10 power 3 gram. Correct. Then here we have meter, centimeter. So 1 meter equal to 100 centimeter. So for 100 I write 10 square centimeter. Then second to the power minus 2, second to the power minus 2 get cancelled. So this will be divided by 1 gram, 1 centimeter. Okay, so 1 gram, 1 gram, 1 gram, see 1 centimeter get cancelled. Then we left with 10 power 3 into 10 power 2. So base are equal, then we simply add the power, which will be equal to 10 power 5. So the value of N2 will be 10 power 5. So from this we can say 1 Newton will be equal to 10 power 5 dyne. So this is SI unit, and we convert this SI unit into dyne. Okay, so this is how we convert one unit into another unit by using dimensional analysis. This is all about today's class. Hope you will understand today's class. I gave you 2 numerical problems. You solve those problems and post it in group. Okay students, thank you.